I'm on the local river today, the River Arrow, and I've still got my gear set up from a recent perch fishing session. I've had a couple of people on Twitter and Facebook ask me what sort of setup I use, how I go about it. Myself, I found out from just looking at forums and videos and asking other anglers. We've had some really useful tips and bits of advice, but once you start fishing, you start to tweak those ideas and get what works for you. The business end, I've got a 1.5 ounce running lead. It's got the flat edges on it, so it sits on the bottom nicely and won't roll around if it's moved. The reason I like to fish such a heavy lead for perch is I don't want the lead moving when the bait's being picked up. The line runs through that swivel on that lead perfectly, and that lead's not going to move. That runs up to a bead stop, swivel, and then I've got about a foot length, 1.5 foot, 4 pound fluorocarbon hook link. That's then tied to a size 6 wide gauge hook and whatever bait you choose to use. I've had a lot of success on lobworm, but a lot of people like using prawn, so you can use that. Bite alarm this end, just another rod rest this end to have the rod running through. And then this is my bobbin. It's made up of a rig clip which runs on the line smoothly with no resistance. That's then got a swivel on it with a bit of braid then tied to that. I've got a plastic high-vis ball with a hole drilled through the middle, and then one SSG shot on the bottom. That holds everything in place. Minimal resistance. It's permanently attached to the line, so I don't have to mess about with clipping line in, taking line out, clipping line in, or getting tangled when I'm striking. It doesn't tangle. It bounces around, there's nothing to tangle there, and it works perfectly. So I'm not going to cast out because I'm not on my commercial today where I normally fish for the perch. So I'll lay it out on the rests and show you how I would fish it if I were on a commercial, if I were casting.
Right, so I've put the weight down on that platform on there just to imitate it being on the bottom of the lake bed. When the bait's dropped in, the line's kept slack, and when I bring it back I make sure I don't move that weight. And the line's kept slack all the way back up to the bite alarm. And on the other side of the bite alarm, it's standard. You've got a drop on the line, which is here. And then here's my homemade bobbin, just there. And that just swings there like that. Now, when you get a take, that bobbin bounces around and it climbs. Now, that's the first part of the bite registration. You know you've got a bite. If a fish runs with it, obviously that shoots to the top as standard, and just bobs around underneath the bite alarm, but it doesn't get tangled. The slack line comes all the way up here, and then just on here you'll see I've got this homemade line clip. It's just the end of a cap of a pen that's sellotaped to the rod butt. Fish with an open bite alarm here, and the line comes up from the reel and clips into there. So when the fish does run, that bobbin climbs to the top. Once all the resistance is taken up in that line, this then pulls out the clip with minimal resistance and then just starts peeling off the reel. And that's it. Generally I start to hit the fish when that bobbin hits the top before they start to pull it out the clip. Obviously if that's the case, just pop it out the clip yourself, flick the bite alarm over and hit the fish. But that's it, dead simple rig. Works with worms, prawns, dead baits, live baits, so whatever you want to use.